forget your troubles.
Happy days.
And just get happy.
Are here again.
You better chase all your cares
above
away.
are clear again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing a
And
song
just get
of
happy
cheer again.
Get ready
days
for the
are
judgment
here
day. The sun is shining.
All together.
Come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Shout hallelujah.
So let's tell
And
the
just
world
get happy
about it now.
We're
Happy
called
days
to the
are
promised
here again.
We're heading across the river. Soon your cares will all be gone.
There'll be no more from now on. From now on.
Forget your troubles and just get
Are here again.
better
The
chase
skies above are clear again.
Shout hallelujah.
So let's sing
And
a
just
song
get
of cheer again. Happy times.
Happy times.
Happy nights.
Happy nights, happy days are here again.
That was a good one too. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Honestly, I Just Want to Sing with My Mates, the podcast / video series where I get to do my favorite thing in the world, which is sing with my friends. Now, the person I just sang with, we have been saying that we wanted to record this song together for, I think we figured out it was almost 14 years. So please welcome my very special friend, Angelique Cassimatis. Hello.
Hi.
I can't believe when I figured that out, I was like, surely it's not that long. And then that really hurt my head a little.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, King Kong 2012, 2013, 2012.
It's we had a New Year's in there somewhere.
Yes, it's all the same. Angelique's Thirsty Thursdays beverage of choice. Well, technically she's just gotten off a plane from Europe, so it is a G&T sometimes. But we have gone with a kombucha. Now, I just picked a random flavor.
Yeah, I
and
love
just
it.
made an assumption. I very rarely do the kombucha in a can.
Oh, it's good.
Ready?
Oh, I did it too early. Oopsie. Oh,
Oh my God.
well, that's good. Raspberry lemonade, yum.
I never do the raspberry. I don't know why. For a kombucha, I always end up doing, somehow I gravitate towards like a pineapple. There's like a pine lime one by the same brand that I love. But this is good.
It's nice. Thank you.
So,
Cheers.
oh, my pleasure. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. How did I forget? There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have to. Bubbles. So good. Okay.
fizzy.
So, first things first is I'm going to get you to read your resume.
Oh, God.
Because as I say every week, I always forget something, and there's people that have projects that like I either haven't heard of or like are really important to them. So I'm going to get you to barrel the camera and go, hello, my name is Angelique Cassimatis, and then list off all the things you want to talk about.
Sam. Oh, hello, everyone. As Sam said, I am Angelique, and okay. I was one of the orphans in Annie when I was like 12, turning 13, so like year 8. And then my next job was High School Musical that ran for 5 seconds and then died in the ass. But I met a lot of wonderful people. Then after that I did Mary Poppins, King Kong, there were some production company shows in there. Then I did Priscilla with this lovely lady over here.
Hey.
We were the Divas.
Yes,
and
full
the
drag every day.
Full drag every day. We sung from the ceiling with the incredible Clee Morgan.
Yeah.
And then after that, I did a version of Saturday Night Fever, and I got to play Annette. I played Columbia in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. A few other things I can't really remember, but Chicago and Guilty Pleasures, a one-woman show. And now I am very, very grateful and very excited to be a part of the original Australian company of Beetlejuice. And I get to play this crazy, crazy beauty queen called Miss Argentina. And I have a lot of fun being ping-ponged around the stage and thrown around by all the guys. It's really, really fun.
You've been on a big break because Razzo was literally here at the beginning of the week, and you've had like almost 6 months off.
Yep, almost 6 months off. It's been a very, very, very long
But
break.
did you want a break?
Yes.
Like, were you ready? Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
yes, I did. But
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like sometimes you get into massive long running shows and then you, just the way it works out with like theatre availability, you do end up going on a break, but then you sit there after 2 months and you're like, okay, I need to get back to work. But it's like, this is a huge, like physically demanding show for you as well.
This one is probably the first one in a long time. Oh my gosh. Other than a chorus line. Shit, I forgot to say that one. I did Amy Campbell's A Chorus Line, and I got to play Cassie, and that was a lot on the body, like a lot. But I don't know what it is about this show. It's just I actually do know. It's comedy. So everything is quick. Everything is so fast.
Yeah.
The pace is lightning fast. It's like you're on this freight train that's literally going 100 miles an hour, and I feel like the choreo and the movement matches that energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not like going to be injured forever, but this is the first time I've injured my body,
Yeah.
and it's been taken a little bit longer to recover than previous things have in the past. So look, the break has been amazing, and I'm very, very happy that it came when it did.
And you're literally going straight to a physio after this. You're like,
I am.
I'm about to start rehearsals, and you were like,
Fix me,
Can
check
you,
me.
literally.
Am I okay? Yeah.
Kid, take me, like fix my body. But we did, I think the first thing we ever did together was King Kong, which was a wild experience.
It was a wild experience. I remember the first or the second day we had this big chat. Everyone was in the room. Where were we? The
Melbourne Showgrounds.
Melbourne Showgrounds. And
Dancing on concrete
Oh yeah.
for 4 months. Like,
It was a lot. And then
my
like
God.
pigeons flying everywhere. Remember
yes.
that? It was like freaking wild.
because it wasn't during one of the lift rehearsals. I seem to remember Sam Marks and somebody literally like getting pooed on by a pigeon at some point. Like it was just, they were all just
Yeah.
like flying around.
Yeah. Because we needed so much space, and that
Yeah.
was all that, well, I guess the best that they could find, which
Yeah.
makes sense, you know.
Yeah. It's huge.
I remember though, you've got to remember this. You have like a brain that remembers everything. We had that big chat about what the show was going to be like. And I
Yeah.
remember walking out of that meeting going, holy shit,
Yeah.
this show's going to be amazing.
It's not that I didn't understand the scale of what we were getting into, but I think it was because we'd done the final workshop in Sydney prior, and we had gorgeous Harley who was pretending to be King Kong. Not even pretending. He basically was Kong. It was amazing. And watching Esther and him just play it out like he was an actual gorilla. Like it was insane. But still, even from doing that, I don't think I realized the scale of it. And then when we got there and we had that big chat and they were like, this is the set and this is how it's going to function and this is all the global creatures, they like showed some footage, all of that stuff. I was just like, what are we doing? Like I didn't understand. And then you and I were also covering Anne.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just like on top of having, I tell this story quite a lot. I remember there being literally like 19 different versions of The Thrill. Do you remember when we would rehearse that number and then they would turn around and be like, okay, so we like that. Can you go back to the ending of like version 7? So can we like I remember my poor brain, because I do think I have a good memory.
It was explosion of the mind.
Oh my God, it was so insane. And I feel like, I don't know how Berry and Romina, like I don't know how they swung on that show, because everything changed every 5 minutes during that rehearsal process.
Every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then we got into the theatre And then I remember that day where they like pulled us up into the balcony. They let us watch him move for the first time. Everyone was just in tears. We were just like, what's going on?
King Kong was spectacular.
Yeah, he was exceptional. Yeah. And then show ran 13 months?
Yep.
And then they were like, okay, thanks, bye. And then it went to Broadway and it completely changed.
Do you know what? The only thing that didn't change, everything else except for Kong changed.
Yeah.
Everything else got
cut. Different director, different choreographer, like a whole bunch. And I think it was like the only element that they kept was they kept some of the cave scene with the big cobra.
And do you remember the
chase?
The chase. They kept the chase.
Yeah.
The Kong stuff was like anything to do with King Kong. And I remember because we obviously were in rehearsals for the end of days for that show.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember going, do you think we could maybe do some scenes or some singing? Because near the end of the run, all they did was record all the Kong stuff.
Yeah.
It was like they just wanted to get everything right and looking great. And I was like, cool, can I just like, what about the covers? Are we going to rehearse? Or is this just literally for Kong?
But
it was just for him.
I don't think it was, didn't get like a full run before I had to do it. And when I went on, because it's like all the covers go on in tech, and it was like because I was like doing the alternate, they were like, you're going to go on in like a week anyway, so we'll just like chuck you on. But then they gave me a new scene to learn for that run. Because they hadn't frozen the show yet. And so they were just like, oh yeah, if you and Chris could just try this for the tech, it'd be great. And like Esther being so gorgeous was just like, hey, like if you have any questions, let me know. But they just were like, oh yeah, could you just try this for the show tonight? And I was like, what? Never done the show. And they were like, can you actually just chuck this into the preview that you're doing tonight? I was like,
sure.
Okay. Yes, I can. But yes and baby, yes and. But then it was ability to cover on that show than I think any other, because things were changing so often.
Quick.
It was the best way for me to like figure out how to not trigger my fight or flight. Because I remember going on in Rock of Ages and sort of just being this like whiz bang, being like, oh my God, like I was a bit chaos. And then because of how epic Kong was, and it probably had something to do with how intense Anne's story was, but it was something about how insane the backstage stuff was. And then it was constantly changing, and we were rehearsing with Kong during all of that. Something happened in my brain, and now I have that weird Zen thing. So if I do get thrown on, I'm just like, yep, okay, this is fine. Like doing my week prep, and I just don't freak out. And I think it was because of that show. And then thank God, but it was on that show sort of, I don't know if this still happens traditionally on Broadway, but they were very strict about like, no, first covers go on and the first covers will not go off. Like they will not take you off to put a second cover on unless you're on death's door. And I one day was like, I mean, Angie's been rehearsing it for 14 months and you're not putting her on, what's going on? And they were like, we're just not going to do it. And then we got to a point where I was just like, cool, Ange needs a show. So then I got to watch you do Anne.
What?
Yeah. I wasn't on. I like took a photo of you backstage in the building. I had this amazing photo of you holding the suitcase.
Oh, that's right.
And you've got your gorgeous.
I thought that was from a rehearsal.
No, that was from the show that I got to watch, because I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing the show. And so I was like, I'm off. Angie's on.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, see you later, bye. And it was, they only did, because I think it was like you did like 2 shows and that was it. But you rehearsed for 14 months.
I did one. I did one show.
See? But like, that's the hard thing I feel like about covering or swinging, in that like, I think now in shows, I really enjoy it because it's like first and second covers work just as hard as each other. But now I feel like there's a lot more companies where it's equally shared.
Yes.
And so they're like, you both share the role. We're going to rotate.
Yes.
Because it's like different. When it comes to first cover and second cover, it's not an ability thing. It's just you're first, you're second. You both got it because you can both do it.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you just split it?
It just look, it depends. That was my first ever time covering or doing anything, and I was known just to be the dancer. And it was a good moment to remind myself that I can do other things too, even though like obviously dancing is my first love, but very grateful.
Yeah.
Very grateful that you.
Anytime. You had to. I wasn't
something.
gonna not let you do a show after all that time. I was like, come on, let's go. But I've also sort of talking about you being like, you feel like you're trying to prove to people at the beginning of your career anyway. I feel like you're fine now, but like at the beginning of your career, you were like, no, I also sing and act. For me anyway, I feel like a big turning point was when you did Priscilla, because the divas were vocalists and it was just you, me and Clee every day doing this, hanging from the roof.
It was a big sing, and I enjoyed that show, but for some reason that's probably the only. I mean, yes, there's always moments of like, oh, I'm a bit tired, or you have a bit of a shit day, or you're a bit nervous. But that one especially, I was like, really felt the pressure. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we were hanging from the roof, and
you did not like the flying.
I realized now, like, I really hate freaking flying. Yeah.
You did really hate it. And all the videos of us in tech that Michelle Barr took is me literally going,
yes, Sam's like, I love it. And I'm going, can I get down?
And Clee's just sitting there going, okay, it's gonna be okay. Do you know what? We're gonna be fine. Like she was trying to come.
And she was zenning out, and I'm like, it's so fucking high. Can you please turn the lights off, please? I don't want to see the floor. Oh my God, that's so far fucking high. Can we turn off the lights?
And then there's me literally just like,
and you're like, this is so cool. I remember.
Oh God. But in that show, I feel like, God, we sang so much. Like now that I look back on it, like I've never sung more in a show than that. And there were there's been so many different iterations and versions of Priscilla. And the version that we got was we sang 2 songs on the floor and everything else we were flying.
It was either flying or we were being hooked up to go. I remember Color My World. We were like being hooked in as we were, and we had to sing. I was like, you can go. I don't know. No, it wasn't that. I think we just had to be ready to go. But I was like, Jesus, we got to sing right now?
The one that always made me laugh was at the end of MacArthur Park, because I was on the God line. So I was singing all the high C's going, oh no, like going up into the roof. And then we would start slowly tracking across for Boogie Wonderland. And so I'd be up there being like, oh, and then we just go, dance. Boogie Wonderland. I was like, yes. Oh no. But it was like right. And we couldn't say anything because they just kept our mics on. But all of us going up to the roof and being like, girl, like a full power and like whatever it was. And then you just see us go,
Yep.
Not able to do anything whatsoever.
You're stuck there.
I hated it. But I hated it on a Sunday matinee. Every other show I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing Priscilla. But it was just on a Sunday matinee. I was just like in the roof going, oh my God. Do you feel like there's a show that you've done that's sort of you said that like Beetlejuice has obviously been like really physically demanding, but what's the one show that you feel like you've had in the bag that you've just gone, oh no, I think my body and my voice just know how to do this?
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah.
I know, look, a lot of people... it's an interesting one because people always go, oh, Chicago. But it's really the much because the script is freaking perfect.
Yeah.
It's also musically beautiful to sing.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not squelching up into the gods. It's in a really great, beautiful spot. And it's that jazz music and the band is on stage with you. It's just the best.
Yeah, but it's Chicago for a reason. Like, I think people do sometimes go, whatever, but it's like, no, there's a reason Chicago is because it's a basically flawless show.
It's a great show, and especially this Anne Reinking's version. Obviously, Bob Fosse did the original 70s version, but Anne Reinking's version that they did, it was just meant to be a concert version, so like no frills. It's like everyone's in one costume. There's no fancy set things happening. It's literally just you and the audience and the band, and if you're having a shit day, they can freaking see you. Like it was the first time in a show where we do rehearsals were obviously tough, but we would do the opening and Gary Christ would be like, yeah. Don't show me the work. And it was like, what do you mean don't show you the work? Do less. It's the famous line that Bob Fosse would say to Cheetah Rivera, do less. And then she was like literally doing hardly anything. And then he goes, I want that. And it was such an interesting, I mean, I have to still remind myself of this, but it's such an interesting lesson to learn that sometimes don't, what did Gary used to say? Gary would say, don't make it bigger, make it more important. So it's like, don't show me how hard you're working, but go keep that internal energy going and fill the space that way.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting because when everyone got that, it was electric, and you didn't need fancy sets or flying things from the roof, even though that we did have one moment where we had some lights come down, but it was all literally just about individual performers bringing their own essence to this piece. And it's so wonderful when you get a moment to do something like that. I mean, your own individuality, like I'm talking like this much, but still it's such a blessing of a show, and I'm so grateful I got to do it. And I look, if it did come around again and and I was like a bit older, I'd probably put my hat in the ring because I just love doing it so much.
Yeah. There's always a show like that you just go, it hurt me, it broke my body, or like I found it really vocally hard. You're like, there's always one that you go back for. But also like in the entire time that we've known each other, you've been manifesting Chicago for a very long time.
I know I'm the shortest person in the world, but I've dreamt of coming up. I mean, look, covers.
I mean, I got to see you do Velma, so like I can attest to it. I came to watch, but you coming up and going a little
coming up in that lift. I had like visualized. I know it's so silly, but like that moment, visualized coming up in the lift, doing the little Pippin, which was wild. Then coming down walking through all the dancers, feeling their energy, and then coming at the front of that freaking V and doing the. It was like, I can drop dead right now and I'd fucking be so incredibly happy.
I know. My God, it was so good. But also I feel like it was one of the times that like, because we have worked together a few times now, but we're always on stage together doing things together. So it's the first time that I ever actually really got to see you act everything. And it made me go, I reckon Andrew's strongest thing is acting. Just the way.
That's so nice.
Because it's like you have such incredible like facility and connection to your body as a dancer. But I think because you really lean into the thoughtfulness of a process and you are a big manifestation queen, there's something about, I was like watching you act, I was like, masterclass is in session. Like it was like full otherworldly. And I felt like you and Maunda had a really great Roxy and Velma together. Like you were able to use her so much. Like
wonderful.
It was just smart and like schlick. And it was so funny because at stage door you were like, oh no, it wasn't a good show. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like you were like you didn't feel like it was a good day. And I was just like, what is happening? Like I loved watching you in that show.
Thank
and
you.
then I watched you I saw Guilty Pleasures as well.
Oh, my cabaret that Josh Robson put together, which is very wild and great. I'm very grateful. I can't believe, yes, amazing Josh Robson, the performer.
Adore. He's the best.
Wrote this amazing show for me randomly, which I was very grateful for.
It's good. I absolutely paid for it. It was stunning. Now that you're at the point with Beetlejuice where you're like, okay, I'm going to go back into the show. You have less than a year left. We started speaking about it like briefly in the car about like, do you have anything that, it's not even that you go, okay, well, I want to do this next because you are my manifestation queen.
Oh.
What energy are you putting out in the world now for like post Beetlejuice? What do you need?
I like that you phrased it that way because a lot of people keep saying, what's next? What's next?
Nah.
But it's what do you need? What are you inspired to do? I obviously would love to continue working in the performing arts because we love it.
It's what born to do.
Born to do. But I would love to do something, whether it's like film, TV, or creating my own little thing. I don't know, but still something that is got to do with movement, dance, maybe singing, but maybe putting some visual aspects to that. But yes, I have some little ideas like like bubbling away at the back of my mind that I'd like to do. And I always say when people ask me, what would you say to your younger self? And I always say, don't wait around for the phone to ring. Don't wait around for the phone to ring. Do it yourself.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, Ange, bloody take your own advice and just do it. So I've got these little I've got about 2 or 3 in the back of my mind that have been there, and I've gently been chipping away at them. So I'd like to put my money where my mouth is and just actually do at least one.
Yeah. But it's scary, particularly as a theatre person, because you just go, well, I could just keep trying to audition for show. Like you could just keep doing what you're doing, but eventually I feel like everyone does get to a point. And whether it's an age thing, like I was very content just being like, oh my God, I just want to do shows and I'm fine. And then as soon as I got into my 30s, I was like, oh no, now I'm thinking about like not even the other options, but my brain goes, okay,
you can do other things with these talents that you've been given.
Yeah.
And what can I have all these great things that I can do, but there's a huge umbrella above me. I don't just have to do one thing. There's so many other things that I can use these skills to create. And I think even though I'm very apprehensive and a bit nervous, I think I'd love to do something creative with one of those things, like kind of like what you're doing right here.
Like the
I'm
pod.
so inspired by this.
Thanks.
I love this idea. It's wonderful. It's such a great way to stay artistic, creative, and put your own spin on things that you've been wanting to do for a really long time.
Yeah. I think also like there was a part of me that for a while was like, I'll just do the performances and I'll just do duets with people and then not have the chat afterwards. But in my brain, I think, again, maybe it's just as I've gotten older, I think people think that I'm really serious or like don't think that they think I'm like, you know, I've always been known as sort of like I'm quite happy and bright and smiley or whatever, but people are sort of like, okay, no, Sam, like she's really serious about musical theatre. So I feel like people don't know that I have any form of personality like at all. So then I was like, do you know what? Maybe I'll use the pod and like maybe I'll sit down and also do interview. And it's just sort of come into this. And now I feel like I'm at a point where like halfway through the season, which is wild.
Exciting.
But yeah,
very exciting.
Now it's at the point where I'm sort of going, okay, well now I want to move into this live show and start this. And it's just like, but it did just start as like, I'd like people to see that I don't just sing and dance and act and I have other skills.
But that's it. That's it. And the one thing that people have kept saying to me as I've traveled through this, as I've very gratefully been traveling through this industry is figure out something that you can do on your own. Because yes, your agent is going to be wonderful, but unless you're like a massive, huge star and you've got a management team behind you who are looking for other gigs or ideas or projects to work on for you, that's not going to happen. So this is so amazing, and it's you're very clever to do this.
Thanks.
And just to keep yourself creative. And yeah, it is that thing of, I can do all these things, but I can also do this.
Yeah.
And it's still under the umbrella of being a performer because you're using all of your skills.
Yeah. I'm never going to not sing. Are you kidding?
Hell no, girl. You're going to be singing
we'll be Babs
till you're
and Judy.
100.
Yeah. No, literally. I'll just be like with my little glass of whiskey
Oh
in my hand.
God, yes.
Just like ready to go at 100 being like, what do you want, boys? That'll be me. So sort of your first quote unquote injury, do you feel like your perspective on like self-care in terms of like physical self-care has changed, or you sort of like you're also a Pilates queen, but like do you feel like as you've gotten older you've needed to take care of your body more, or is it just being more specific about it?
Look, I have always done Pilates. I started in full-time and I just did it as an extra thing because at the full-time school that I was at, they had a business that was connected to the same building. And I was like, wow, I can develop my legs higher. But I've realized as I've gotten older, I can't dance. I mean, I wish. I can't move the way that I used to. And doing Pilates or now, I mean, weight training. I'm not very good at it, but weight training is
Yeah.
something that has been helping.
Yeah.
Look, I've still got to manage this thing. It's very annoying and it creeps up at the most inappropriate times.
Always.
Like things like you're driving in a car and you just friggin' twist and it's like, oh, or like picking up something from the freaking floor. I'm like not even doing anything amazing and it can just say, hey, how you going?
I'm a big advocate for weight training because I was always like first show, absolutely injured my knee, had to like learn how to walk again. Like I went through rehab really early in my career and then I did a lot of Pilates and then it wasn't until just before I started, I did it like sporadically during Priscilla, but not a lot. I was like only really doing upper body stuff to sort of like try and counteract the flying, these little lovely flying shoulders from the lines. Ugh. But it wasn't really until just before I started doing Frozen because they were like, one of your costumes weighs like 10 kilos, 11 kilos. And I was like, I have bad knees. I need to start getting used to getting on and off the floor. So then I started working with, shout outs to, love you, my sister's husband, started doing training with me during like the rehearsal process for Frozen and I've never gone back. Like I minimum 2 or 3 times a week because I don't know if people are aware of like how much it helps your muscles, but like it helps increase your bone density. Like what it does to your joints and your spine, I think is what people don't realize those benefits when they get into training. They sort of just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to get jacked and have my protein and like they think it's going to turn into that. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean you can do that if you want. If that's what you want. But I was under that mentality too, and because I came from a dancer background first, and originally I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, that's what I was training to do. I was going to be in a company or a contemporary company, and I was not a chunkier, but a musclier physique anyway. And the minute someone was like, "You got to do weight training," I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow up into a friggin', Arnold Schwarzenegger type body. But I mean, I don't do, it's not crazy amounts, but it's just a little bit. And look, I'm still got a long way to go. This thing is going to be there for a little bit. I have to just manage it.
Yeah.
But I still do Pilates twice a week and I was very lucky. I was in Brisbane for a little bit of time there and I started training through the Pilates teacher I was seeing there. It was a guy, his name's Tony and he works with the Aussie Ballet, the Queensland Ballet Company.
Amazing.
And he works with them and he's an ballet dancer as well.
Amazing.
And he sort of works with the company and goes, oh, what show are you I'm talking musical theatre terms, not ballet terms. What show are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing in those solos? What do we need to fix to make sure that you can get through that season?
Yeah.
And they basically, as well as Pilates, as well as their dance classes, they train so that they can make sure their whole body is like supporting them as well as like it's and I really kind of like that. And it was surprisingly things that is doable, within that crazy. I mean, they're ballerinas dancing ridiculous amounts of hours a week, and they were he was able to produce, a little workout thing that you can do. Well, obviously for them, but also for me that doesn't kill me.
Yeah,
as well as being able to do 8 shows a week, which is awesome.
But it's not really until you get injured that I think you realize that you actually have the capacity to do things outside of the show. Because I remember for a couple of years it was like,
I simply can't. I must just do the show and that's it.
Yeah. And like I feel like vocally maybe it's a bit different. Like there was a point in time where I literally just didn't talk on a Monday for that's 4 years. And that was the only thing I could do to like fix it. But when it comes to bodies, it's like you actually have more capacity sometimes than you think. And it doesn't mean that you have to, like shout out to the people who run ultra marathons and like do all that kind of stuff before a double show day. Like that's intense and insane. And like my sweet little baby angel knee could never, but it makes me realize when I'm like, oh, they're able to do that. Maybe I can add an extra day of training in. And it wasn't really kinky boots. Not really. Cause I got just annoying back injury and it was just I did nothing in that show, by the way. Like, I mean, I did, but I didn't. And comparatively to other things, nothing. But it was purely because of the way I was standing on. So Lola was always on my right. And so I was always sitting into and so like the whole left side of my spine started to compress. But then it was like, okay, during that show, they were like, you can't really do anything outside. And then during Priscilla, I was like, okay, we have to do something.
Yeah.
But doing that, having that little basis of strength training and actually doing more than you think you can during the run makes the show more doable.
Yeah. Also as well, like this is just something that I've had to learn as I've gotten older. And I'm not telling everyone to do this, but I, as you probably know me, I go probably 125% when I probably only need to go about like 80.
Yeah, you go full out.
And I you know, going from an energy of a show like Chicago to an energy of Beetlejuice, I think I was just trying to match that energy and do 8 shows a week, this high intense energy, instead of actually zooming out, taking the lesson that I learnt from Chicago, which is, mind you, I'm still learning this and we'll see how we go on the rest of the run. But it's don't make it bigger, make it more important.
Yeah.
And just take that performance at like a smart, you know, 90 instead of me going to 110 like I always do. And going, I've got, you know, we're about to go into 8 months, almost 8.5 months worth of a tour. How do I survive? How do I get through this? And how can I be smart about this? Like vocally, we all know how to do this, but physically it just was it's been a good reminder. Also, you know, how I can still get the same result without pushing to breaking point, I guess, and being working smarter, not harder, which
absolutely
I'm still learning.
Oh, mate, same. But I do that
there.
like I do that vocally. Like I remember the way that I used to. There is no world where I could sing Rock of Ages the way that I sang it when I was 17.
But you were 17. You're invincible.
But that's the thing, is that you don't think about it in advance, and you always hear, like we were just talking about Michael Falzon earlier, and he was always like, you don't have to work that hard, Sam. Like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yes.
But sometimes it feels really good to do it at full capacity.
Amazing.
But then you zoom out for a minute and you do go, okay.
Play the long game. How do I play the long game?
Yeah. And it's like, I think I learned that a lot from him, but it's like when I was doing shows like Kinky Boots and particularly Priscilla, like I had to really pace. I actually said this to Sarah when she was on the show because she did Priscilla on the ship.
Yes.
And I was saying that their jigsaw puzzle was different in that she sang the same songs as me. So she did Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but she was on the low harmony. So their little diva puzzle was different. And I was like, I remember I would have to warm the whole way up to get all the high C's, but then we would start the show and go, humidity's rising. So I used to I was like, I can't actually just go full pelt the entire show because I'm not going to make it, because I have to use all of this. So I need to just pull back a little bit. And it was the first time. Kinky Boots a little, but I kind of learned how to like reserve and preserve without actually losing the integrity of the show or like what you're saying, what we were doing in that show.
That's a really hard lesson to learn. And also it's a fine line to walk as well, because you also can't look like you're being or sound like you're being lazy, but you also got to go be smart about it. How the hell am I going to be able to do this 8 shows a week and still survive and be able to work after this, you know, like there is life after this show, whether it be like, I don't know, hypothetically, you know, you want to make sure you can teach or hang out with your nephews and nieces or eventually have a kid and be able to friggin' pick them up without having excruciating back pain and going, oh, I really should have just like chilled out a little bit and not done that.
Not done 17 layouts at 125%. You at the end of Beetlejuice, Miss Argentina.
Oh, God.
You love a little snap back bend. So do I, though. I love a layout. I love a back bend.
It's very fun. It's
I know,
very fun.
But it's like if you could conserve the whole production number to get that one hard, you're like, that's worth it.
It's worth it. And I have the most amazing partner at the end, Brady, who like has me, and he's so
Brilliant.
strong. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
But
I think we're going to move into what I like to call Big Fish, Small Pond, which is questions. Some of these are like really silly, really simple, and a few of them, oh, just hit the mic. Good, it's going well. I've left the prednisone in there from last week. I think it's just going to stay in the bowl permanently. But you're going to pick a question and we'll both answer, and then I'm going to pick a question. But there's a range. Some of them are quite, there's only one question on each one, but some of them are quite long.
Oh, God.
We'll
okay.
see how we go.
For reals?
Okay.
What is your favorite flightless bird? Is that what that is?
I don't remember putting that question in there.
Okay.
My favorite.
Go on, girl. Tell me. I'm interested.
It's a penguin. It has to be a
shit.
penguin. What a dumb question. So full disclosure.
That's not a dumb question, but I was like, I don't know.
I was like, I mean, it has to be. Can penguins can't fly?
No, they do this.
Can't they do the little.
And they do like butter.
Oh my God. But I want to like slide down. Oh my God. So some of these questions, like I printed some of them off Google. I like typed a few of them out, but then there's a few on there that I've never seen that I've had coworkers just write. And that is one of them. Okay.
Is it cheating if I say penguin too?
No, it's not. No, we're not cheating. They're both,
Okay,
it's
your
kind of the
turn.
best. Okay. Right. Which one am I gravitating? Yeah, this boy. Oh, okay. Some of these are real serious and some of them are very not. Oh, okay, sure. Has anything weird or unexplained ever happened to you?
Like in life?
Yeah, like has the universe thrown anything your way that was super weird that you just have never really understood, I guess?
You go first.
Ooh, has anything weird or unexplained happened to you? Do you know what? I have this weird thing. The universe likes to send me cash. I find a lot of cash, like walking down the street or like I found cash like like about a fortnight ago, and I was just walking through Coles and I was looking for, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but they sell peppercorn in Coles now. And so I was like going in to go and buy some, and I went to go and pick it off the shelf and I dropped it. And as I dropped it and went, oh my God, and like stumbled and tried to not let it shatter, there was just a $5 note on the ground. And I can't explain it. It's like the universe, I'm just like, oh, I just wish I had a little bit extra for that little bit of coffee. And then like within the week, I'll find
what?
Cash.
Well, do you know what? That means you're a very strong manifester because you believe that you're going to get it and
it's subconscious
it
at this point. Yeah. The universe gives me money, apparently.
That's freaking great.
All my good deeds.
I don't think I have anything that exciting except for like I believe I'm going to find a free park and I find free parks.
You do actually get a little park. There's been a few times that we've gone to get coffee and you're like, oh, I just got it. Someone just pulled out. I got a great park.
And then like finding out my favorite the other day, like a few months ago was finding free parking around where Sydney Dance is after a certain time.
That's
and
impossible.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's impossible.
So after a certain, I won't say what it is because then I reckon they'll never ever be there again.
No.
But I got a little tip off, and now every time I go like for evening classes after 5, get a freaking free park.
Oh my God, that's so good. I'm jealous. I remember I just gave up. Whenever I've had to rehearse shows, they're all like, I've gone to class. I was just like, I'm going to catch the train.
Oh,
Just
look,
walk.
it's not in the daytimes, but like
Still
night times,
annoying.
yes. But normally I go, I'm going to get a free park. And yes, I might have to walk a little bit further, but it's free.
Yeah. Actually, we have to sidebar before I ask my final question, because something that unless you're a thespian, people won't know about the famous Cassimatis baklava.
Oh my gosh.
So for the people at home, Ange and her mum make the world's best baklava, and people would know that you were coming to a show because you would drop it off backstage. But it got to the point where, like, I remember the day on Frozen, because it was like everyone in the company, there was like, we had one sort of relatively fresh cast member, but it was a pretty seasoned company. So everyone knew what it was. And Mitch Fistrovic Deutsch was like, guys, guess who's watching the show tonight? To which I was like, is it Kate Sobrano? And then all of a sudden he was like, Angelique, and the entire dressing room went, baklava! Like just lost it. But I remember so vividly we went over to your family's house and you teach Like you taught us how to make it and we all went home with like these little trays. And I have all these photos of us just like sitting around, like making sure the sugar syrup is like thick enough or thin enough. And it was like your mum corn hosted and it was just like, oh my God. But it's just this, it's just like a weird little legacy that you have of just like, it's just Ange and the baklava.
Oh, look. Thank you. That's
the
my
best.
my mum is much better at it than me, and every time I've cooked it with her, she's like, "What are you doing?" No, but
Always.
But,
Mums are always just like, no, that's the wrong consistency. What are you doing?
do it like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, yes. But no, I guess it started off with like we'd bring things to, if we knew people in the show, and then it got to the point where I just had so many friends and so many shows. Mum and I were like, we gotta do something about this. So baklava, it is. And at the minute we have a girl, a very talented but poor girl on our show who's allergic to cashews and what are they called? Pistachios.
Damn.
And she like so much so that she will die.
Yeah,
So,
there's people which I didn't realize. It's maybe I
It's
just
a
haven't
thing.
come. It's also people when it's airborne. I didn't realize that it
yes.
could be that bad. That it's like if someone's eaten it and it's in the air on their breath that they can have a reaction to it.
Very, very highly allergic. So no one at Beetlejuice has had it yet. But maybe we'll just use a different nut because she's different nuts.
Do a little almond one. Okay, so then the final thing and the final question I have is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't spoken about?
Oh God, I hate talking about myself like this. Okay. Look, I guess, I mean, because we have the space and the time, it is a really weird, I guess, topic, and some people are absolute hell yes, and some people are like, hell no, I don't want to do that. All I would say, maybe it's not a question, it's probably like advice. I guess you and I are quite like nerdy about performing. I'm not like the nerdiest musical theatre human alive, but I guess the one thing that I'd like to maybe leave on is because we've covered a lot in our careers, I would just like to say, be a nerd. Be a nerd, research everything, put as much work into what you were doing, even if you were the lead, and just like stay in your lane and do your own work and just know your shit inside out, because you and I both know we have been thrown on with no rehearsal. Safely, of course, we wouldn't be thrown on unless it was safe.
Of course not.
But it's happened to me twice now where I've just been a little bit of a nerd, practicing in my own time, chipping away. We had also some great people that I've worked with would give us some extra rehearsals in dinner breaks just to catch us up on things. But I guess I'd just say be a nerd and be as prepared as you can, because you just never know when you're literally going to be thrown on without any kind of rehearsal just to save the day. Because if you have to cancel a show, it's something like $500,000 that they lose when they don't perform. So
absolutely.
Know your shit.
I feel like also, which I think is a very positive thing, I feel like now there's a little bit more of a culture around performers. If you're not feeling well, you actually go off. Whereas I feel like when we first started doing shows together, it was like, unless you were literally like high on drugs because you'd been at the dentist and they gave you too much endone, or you were literally on death's door, you never went off. You didn't go off. But now I feel like post-COVID, it's this thing of like, oh no, I don't want to get more people sick. The culture around it's really changed, which means that the chances of covers going on
are quite high.
It increases like tenfold, because people now get thrown on. I mean, it kind of happens depending on the shows that you do. It's like, just because of the way that I sing and the roles that I've covered, I always go on in previews. There's only been one show where I've ever actually gotten to my proper tech rehearsal before I've been thrown on.
It's wild.
But if you're prepared, it's actually fine. Like if you know your stuff, you're okay.
Look, I'm not saying that like prepping and doing your own work without being paid, yeah, it freaking sucks. But you know what? Be a nerd.
But it's your duty too.
Be a nerd.
You
be
owe
a
it.
nerd.
You owe it to the people who are going to come and pay to watch the show. And it's like, it's on you. If you go out there and you do an average performance, or you're not, you know, you standing on 2 instead of 3 is kind of forgiven. But it's like, if you can't embody the character and give the people what they want, what they're paying for, what the story deserves, like, sorry, it sounds really hard. It's kind of on you. So like,
yeah.
no shit.
You what the things that you get before you even started the script and the score.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just get in, like, be a nerd and learn it inside out. And then at least that's one thing that you don't have to think of when you're being booted on, like, without any rehearsal. At least you go, at least I've sung in the songs and I know my lines.
Yeah.
And everything else, like, then you're not in trouble, because that's not on you, but that is. And I mean, if there's anything that we could finish on, is like, just know your shit and just enjoy being inquisitive and I don't know, investigating them all. Researching all your little characters and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, agreed. So with that great piece of advice, I think we're going to end the episode. Thanks, Ange.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your physio after this.
Oh, thank you. I know. I'm like, ooh,
I'm so jealous.
Woohoo.
I thought about that. I was like, oh, I'd love a physio right now. Anyway, thank you very much. And I will see everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.